What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? So, in the past, we have done reactions to the Athletic mock drafts, ESPN mock drafts, Bleacher Report mock drafts, and today we are taking our talents over to CBS Sports and reacting to their mock draft. So, this one is written by Gary Parrish, and I think it's going to be a controversial one. So we'll get into this. If you guys do enjoy these videos, feel free to drop a thumbs up. Like always, I will leave a link to the article down below, just to give them credit if you want to take a look at this yourself. And yeah, if you do enjoy these mock draft reactions, let me know, because we're going to be keep doing them, because I think they're interesting. It kind of also maybe helps me come up with new ideas for my mock drafts. And the draft is on July 29th. I think you guys might get an updated mock draft very soon. So yeah, we can just get right into right into the reaction today. So to start off, he's got Cade Cunningham going to the Pistons. Every mock has that. Not going to go into it. I think it's 100%. He goes number one. No, I wouldn't say 100%. I would say like a 95% chance. Maybe there's a 5% Jalen Green pick out there. It's going to be Cade Cunningham. So let's move on here to pick 2. Man, this is the second time I've seen this. Jalen Suggs going to the Rockets. What are we doing? I don't like... If you want to say Jalen Green's the second best player in this draft, fine. And if that's a big board, hey, I can get behind that, definitely. But saying he's going to go at 2 over Mobley and Green, I just think is kind of asinine. I don't think it's going to happen at all. In any other draft, maybe, yes, Suggs is talented enough to go number 2. But I just think Mobley and Green are the clear-cut picks at number 2. Like, I think it's going to be Mobley. If not, it's going to be Jalen Green. I don't even think Jalen Suggs will be in question. I mean, like, they'll review Jalen Suggs. They'll, interview him, bring him in. But I don't think there's any chance he goes number 2. I think it's kind of silly. I do. 3, Evan Mobley. I mean, in this case, if this is how the draft is going, for Cleveland, it depends. Are they losing Jared Allen? Or are they bringing him back? If they're bringing Jared Allen back, then I kind of like the Jalen Green pick. But if they're not going to pay Jared Allen the money he wants, and like maybe a team like OKC will outbid them, yeah, then I would go Evan Mobley with the 3rd overall selection. Number 4, we got Jalen Green going to Toronto. I mean, that's perfect. if the Raptors get lucky enough to take Jalen Green, they might be getting the best player in this draft. They're getting the best scorer, someone that's a 3-level scorer. He's athletic. He's just really freaking talented, man. Like, you watch him in the G League, just his G League Ignite games, and that talent, like, he's going up against, or that skills, like, or his skill set matches up well, at least I think with any of these teams in the top 5. I think Jalen Green would just be an amazing fit next to Fred VanVleet and OG Anunoby in between those guys, and he would help the Raptors get back in the playoffs. So I would just be so shocked if he falls to 4. I think that'd be criminal, and the Raptors are getting arguably the best player in the draft at 4. 5, we got Kuminga going to the Magic. Yeah, pencil this into, like, every mock. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever have the balls to put Kuminga in front of Green, Mobley, or Suggs. I just don't think I can. And I don't think I also have the balls to put Scotty Barnes in front of Kuminga. So I'm probably going to have Kuminga going 5 in all my mocks. 6, it's Scotty Barnes. Yeah, that's going to be mocked a lot. I predict that will happen. I think he's not in that top 5 tier of Cade, Jalen's, and Mobley and Kuminga, but I think he's right there, and I think he's kind of in a tier of his own. I mean, I think he's closer to Kuminga than he is to the next tier of, like, Davion Mitchell, Keon Johnson, Jalen Johnson, Davion Mitchell, wait, I said Davion Mitchell twice. Yeah, you know what I mean, Franz Wagner, maybe. I think I said Davion Mitchell twice. Now I'm in my own head. But yeah, Scotty Barnes, I think no way he falls out of the top 6. So I think OKC's got a pretty good player there. Next up at 7, we got Davion Mitchell out of Baylor. Like that pick a lot for the Warriors. He's someone that can help them win now. He shot great from 3 at Baylor. He's a good defender. Can help the Warriors win next season. Next up at 8, we have Moses Moody to the Magic. Okay, that's the highest I think I've seen Moses Moody go. And I'm okay with that. I think I'm perfectly fine with Moses Moody going in the top 10. It really comes down, do you like Moses Moody? Do you like Jalen Johnson? Or do you like Keon Johnson if you're Orlando? And I think they got to go for a wing scorer that can also space the floor, or just is a good enough 3-point shooter. And all 3 of those guys kind of check off those boxes. Maybe Jalen Johnson not as much. But yeah, I like Moses Moody a lot for them at 8. Keon Johnson going to the Kings at 9. Yeah, like, not the greatest shooter in the world, but I think the shot is there. I think he's got a good enough release. He's a great defender, so you're really getting 3 and D. And I guess for Orlando, maybe Moody makes more sense, because a lot of their young core really can't shoot the ball. So getting Keon Johnson or going to Sacramento, I mean, I don't really like Keon Johnson to Sacramento with their crowded backcourt of Fox, Halliburton, and Buddy Hield, so I think they should go more of a wing player and get Franz Wagner or Jalen Johnson. So I do disagree with that pick. Next up, we have Trey Mann going to the Pelicans at 10. That's high. That's the highest I've ever seen Trey Mann go. All right, Trey Mann in front of Franz Wagner, in front of Alperen Sengun, in front of Jalen Johnson, in front of Corey Kispert. Wow. It's very shocking. In front of Jared Butler and Sharif Cooper. All right. Maybe not the last two guys, but this is the highest I've seen Trey Mann go. Next up we got Josh Giddey, or yeah, in front of Josh Giddey too. Josh Giddey going to the Hornets. I don't honestly. I think I like Giddey potentially going to like the Pelicans over Mann because Giddey's more of a one. I think he's good enough passer. It's really just kind of where his athleticism is at, and I think it depends if he could shoot at the next level. But I think he's a smart enough player and he's a good enough facilitator for someone that be that 6'8" in the league. So I think that's a great pick. But you already have LaMelo Ball kind of as that position, and you already have another playmaker in Gordon Hayward. So I don't really like the Josh Giddey fit to Charlotte. Next up, we got Isaiah Jackson going to the Spurs at 12. I mean, yes, they need big men, depth, because we'll see if they bring back Pirtle and, like, Aldridge retired after they bought him out. So, yes, Isaiah Jackson could be the pick here. But if you're going to go someone that could be, like, a 4, maybe potentially a stretch 4, I'm a big fan of Jalen Johnson. Or even Franz Wagner. I don't think there's any way Franz Wagner doesn't go in the top 12. Here he is going at 13. I think he's going to be too valuable to teams. Someone that can just kind of do it all. He can defend. He can shoot well from 3 from the line. He can pass well. He's good in transition. He's solid off ball. He's good inside. He's not a bad rebounder. I think he kind of does it all. He's kind of this year's Tyrese Halliburton. I think I like Tyrese Halliburton more as a prospect, but I like Franz Wagner a lot, and I feel like he's got to go top 12. I'd be very shocked if he fell to the Pacers at 13. Alperen Sengun going here to the Warriors at 14. It gives them some big man depth. I think if I'm the Warriors, I like Kai Jones more than Sengun. But I guess if you're going more of an NBA ready guy at 7 and Mitchell, you could afford to go the non-NBA ready guy in Sengun at 14. All right, I can get behind that, but Jalen Johnson's there. I think you should get some wing depth in Ed Johnson since you're probably going to lose Kelly Oubre. Next up, we got James Bouknight going to the Wizards, the first pick in the non-lottery. I like Bouknight as a prospect. I don't know if I like him to the Wizards. I don't know if he's good enough defender, and they need to add some defense. So I guess maybe add Kai Jones here. Maybe add Jared Butler. I think you should go for some defense for the Wizards. Next up, we got Kai Jones to the Thunder at 16. Wow, we have yet to see Jalen Johnson's name. That is pretty shocking. But Kai Jones to the Thunder. I mean, they'd be adding Barnes and Jones. It really depends if they're going to put Jones at the 5, because they would have Poku, Baisley, Barnes, Jones. It's kind of a crowded 4 spot. But yeah, you could definitely move Kai Jones to the 5. If I'm them, yeah, I think he could be the 5. But if they wanted to go wing depth, Jalen Johnson still on the board there. Next up, we have Chris Duarte going to the Grizzlies. I love that pick for them. I like Duarte there. I like even Cam Thomas, even though he's a little bit younger. Corey Kispert is still on the board. Wait, what? Sorry if you saw my Adobe thing go off. But what? What are we doing? I mean, like, Chris Duarte is great for the Grizzlies, and I think that's a realistic scenario on draft night. How is Corey Kispert not gone? And how is Jalen Johnson not gone? I have no idea. We have Zaire Williams going in front of Jalen Johnson and Corey Kispert. It's just not going to happen. You could say he's a better player, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But wow, this mock draft has Kispert and Johnson falling. There's Jalen Johnson going to the Knicks at 19. I mean, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. I just don't think. Okay, and maybe I was wrong. Maybe when I said not as good of a three-point shooter, I meant Keon Johnson, not Jalen Johnson. But yeah, I would love that as a Knicks fan at 19, but I don't think there's any way he falls out of the top 15 on draft night. We got Cam Thomas going to the Hawks at 20. A good shooter. Would they want, because he's not a great defender, so would they maybe want to add like a Jared Butler? I think I like Jared Butler going to the Hawks a lot as that pick. 21, we got the Knicks getting Greg Brown. It'll be interesting to see if he goes to the first round or not. I don't like him to the Knicks because they kind of already have, because I don't know if he's going to be good enough to play the 5, so if he's going to be the 4, I mean, you have Obi Toppin and Julius Randle. It's probably not worth getting Greg Brown here at 21. With Jared Butler on the board, I would definitely go him. Or even Sharif Cooper. There we go. Corey Kispert going to the Lakers. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be going outside the lottery. He's the best shooter in this draft, and I just think that's going to be so valuable. You look at Cam Johnson, and I think people are going to learn their lesson. The fact that Desmond Bane fell to 30 last year, and he was a top 10 rookie because of how good of a shooter he is. Yeah, Corey Kispert's not going to go 22. Sharif Cooper to the Rockets at 23. I love that if he falls there. J.R. E., that's a little bit high. I know the Athletic mock had him in the first round too. I just don't think he's going to go in the first round on draft night. I think that is a little bit high. Dosunmu to the Clippers. See, I like that, but with Jared Butler still on the board, I don't know if I like that enough. And even Jaden Springer. But I am a fan of Dosunmu. I am. And then Jaden Springer going to the Nuggets at 26. We'll see if McBride goes into the first round. We got Usman Garuba going to the Nets at 27. I think they would want maybe a Miles McBride, somebody that can actually help them right away. Garuba obviously is a developmental kind of project player. Let's get out of the way. Stream Deck. Next up, we got Trey Murphy going to the Sixers at 28. He seems to be kind of not a lock as a first-round pick, but somebody that's going to go in those late 20s. But we'll see. I think I prefer Joshua Primo over him, but Trey Murphy's a good player. Miles McBride, there we go, going to the Suns at 29. They could end up, he kind of looks like Kelly Oubre a little bit. Maybe I'm tripping. But if they're going to lose campaign, if somebody's going to pay him a lot of money in the offseason, they're going to want to put all their or resources to Chris Paul, get McBride to be that backup point guard next year. And then finally, we got Josh Christopher going to the Jazz at pick 30. I am a fan of that. Does he do a second round? He does not do a second round. So, a weird mock, right? We got like Corey Kispert falling. We have Greg Brown pretty high. We have Jalen Johnson falling. And just Franz Wagner fell a little bit. Trey Mann at 10 was a little shocking. Moses Moody at 8 was just the highest I've ever seen him. And then obviously Jalen Suggs at 2, I disagree with. So let me know what you guys think of this mock draft down below. I'll leave a link to it in the description. If you guys do enjoy these mock draft videos, drop a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I love you guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.